So one of the newer animes that is airing this season is called Can a Boy/Girl Friendship Survive? Now, normally I don't make a sort of first episode sort of impressions on it, but honestly, I love romance animes, especially comedy romance. This is JC's staff as well working on this, and the animations in it straight away are really good. Like the music also with the opening and closing are actually really quite nice. They put a lot of, I feel like, attention to detail in like little things. But what kind of struck me was the relationship between the main male and the main female protagonist, and how even though they're kind of like BFFs, kind of childhood friends, and of course we know how that goes, it does feel like it's one of those where clearly, as I'm going to call her Bluey, because everyone knows how great I am with pronouncing names, so I'm going to give her the nickname Bluey. She's quite an eccentric one. She's like quite crazy. She's got this kind of catchphrase like, ooh, hoo, 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 kind of thing. But it's clear that she's going to be the winner. Like, I can see straight away she's going to be the winner. Now, there's the potential of another love interest entering at the end of the first episode. But I just love the chemistry. That's what drew me into the chemistry of this relationship, because he's kind of doing like jewelry, and this is kind of like his whole stick. Like he likes making little jewelry, little fiddly stuff, and he kind of really gets enamored in it, and she enjoys watching him do all that kind of stuff. But it's clear that I think she just enjoys not just him being really interested in the hobby, but that's kind of like the secondary component. I think she clearly has an interest in him and their relationship and being so close, and the hobby and his interest in it is just a thing to bring people together. Because one of the things I've learned over the years as a stud myself, I jest, but one of the things I've learned is that when someone has an interest, whether male or female, into a person, they become very interested in that same person's hobbies, and they're willing to kind of like things that maybe they normally wouldn't have liked, and they kind of draw themselves together over those kinds of... I've had many girls that, you know, that have had interest in me really draw into a lot of the same hobbies just because they want to get closer and know more about me, and they then also enjoy it as well because of that companionship and similar interests. So I can understand from a character's perspective how this works, and I actually really do like what the story is trying to do there, because it's realistic in a romantic sense, and especially in a school setting. It's just like two individuals. I think he clearly has an interest in her. He keeps talking about how cute and pretty and all the rest she is, but she is kind of in that denial stage, but she's also starting to realize that there's more to her feelings than meets the eye. She's kind of like trying to cope with it in the sense of like copium of being like, oh no, it's not this, but then realizing clearly there's something more at play here. I clearly have more feelings. So I definitely like that chemistry component, because it's straight away, it makes something, one, realistic, grounded. The comedy aspect is really fun. She is quite wonkos, especially when she's having sort of like a beef with her friend, and her friend just grabs her by the face and is like death claw on the face, and then she's just like, oh, my hands are available, I'm gonna cop a feel. And then it's just like a tug of war between her friend's hand on the face and her hands on her melons, and just like swinging around like melons everywhere. It's a fun show. And again, you're going to get the criticisms of people going, well, actually, it's got fan service. I don't like fan service in my rom-coms. You're going to get those kinds of people, but I think at the end of the day, they're never going to be happy. So if you see someone like that, just ignore them. They're never going to be happy. Those kind of annoying Karens in a convenience store demanding your manager, because they're never happy because, wow, 1 cent went up on an item, and so they needed something to complain about. That's what I expect as far as criticisms go, because to me, I like what the concept of the story is. There's a clear foundation between him, her, there's an interest there. Now, the third character, which is this brown-haired girl, and I'm going to call her Melons, because clearly she does have a nice pair, she clearly, potentially has an interest in him as well, and I think there's going to be that kind of little bit of a love rivalry, but I feel like she's going to be used as a catalyst to try and force them together, because she is probably going to have feelings, she's probably going to pursue those feelings, and he's probably going to have to make a choice between the two, and I feel he's going to pick childhood friend, which is Bluey, which is great, because honestly, childhood friends don't win a lot, and blue-haired ones, now thinking about it, I feel like this writer's had something here and he's thought, you know what, I'm going to break the trend. I'm going to destroy this conception that childhood friends with blue hair can't win. So now he's going to make a childhood friend with blue hair win. If it doesn't, I'm flipping a table. And yeah, I'm going to go absolutely wonkos and just roll around on the floor like an absolute spaz. But I don't think that's the case. I think right away from the first episode, you can see the foundations of what they're trying to do between these characters. Again, just because something's predictable doesn't mean it's bad. Just to be very clear. Because it's more about the journey and the relationships. And because of the comedy aspect and that really kooky, kind of fun chemistry between them, that's what's drawn me into the anime. Because normally it would be like, oh, main protagonist. He's kind of a little bit quiet, a little bit monotone, a little bit, but it's because of the hobby aspect, so it kind of makes sense. He's like shy and timid, and the girl is kind of what draws that personality out of him. I feel like as time goes on, there'll be more of his personality that will come out. There's also a male friend as well, where she and him are kind of like always like bad-mouthing each other. There's fun chemistry like that. Yes, there are some cliches and tropes in animes, but you're always going to have that. And if it really bugs you to have some cliches and tropes in an anime, then I think anime is just not for you, because it's going to be in every anime no matter what. But it always depends on the amount of it. To me, it's like a saturation. If there's too much of a saturation of cliches and tropes jammed in, then it just feels like the story is more about trying to force those in your face, and I don't think that's the case with this anime. So I definitely really look forward to this. If you are looking for that comedy romance school setting with some nice real animations and quality to it, because Josu's staff, they know how to cook, then I definitely think this anime is for you. It is based on a light novel. Don't know how many volumes there are. As much as I would love to read the light novels, there is only so much in a day that I can physically do, so I can't read every single light novel review and do it on the channel. So if I had 2 bodies, or 3 or 5, clone myself, I would definitely read the volumes, but I've already got enough on my plate as it is, so I don't really want to put more time into that. Unless, for some reason, a large amount of Patreon members are like, you must read this, then maybe, but again, I'm only limited on my time that I can. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, these are the kind of stories I really love. I love wholesome, fun romances with a little bit of spice in it that doesn't feel forced or over-injected. And it's good to see more of these kinds of romances out there just kind of coming out at a nice pace, where you've got one every season or so, sometimes 2 in a season, where it just feels like you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy that sort of youth itself. I know some people complain about because it's in a school setting, but it is nice to just kind of look at youth and go, wow, this could have been my romance in high school, even though I probably would have been too scared to talk to the opposite gender, and, oh, wait, that was me in real life. Yeah, so that's why my romance life in high school wasn't exactly flourishing, because the one time 2 girls came up to me and flirted with me in the library, I just basically fuzzed up like a deer looking at headlights going, duh, go talk to me, duh. And then brain fuzzed out. And now looking back at that, I just cringe at myself. So, hey, we can all cringe at me and my life stories, because, yeah, this is why I always find it funny when people criticize animes like this and go, oh, but the main protagonist, he's too quiet as him, and I would be like that. I'd be like some stud alpha that'd be like chatting everything up. It's like, please, shut up, sit down. You are probably the most timid kid on the planet, and you're probably just talking a load of smack online because you're trying to cope for your bad romance experiences. See, the difference between you and I is I'm just willing to admit I'm a failure. You are coping. See the difference? Exactly. If you love this anime, definitely give it a watch. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below, because I'd love to know people's thoughts. And I definitely think as the episodes go on, I think there's going to be some really interesting chemistry, because like I said, already at the end of the first episode, there is clearly some interesting conflict. And even in the synopsis, it talks about flowers and growing pains. So it's kind of got like that sort of metaphoric kind of thing going. I'll read the entire last line. It goes, there is shared dreams and peaceful days as a toothsome gardening club are tested in this tale of love, flowers, and growing pains. There's clearly going to be some interesting love rivalry and drama going on, and I love that. That's what I'm looking forward to. So definitely may do a character analysis on the couple at a later point when some more interesting stuff is worth talking about. So again, love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.